Good morning, students. So the next method, least squares method. See, this is a mathematical method of measuring trend of the type y equals to f of x. So this is a mathematical model of method measuring trend. Remember. Now, generally, if you observe, time series data is usually calculated or evaluated for finding the future value, isn't it? Estimating the future value. But if you observe the graphical method, it failed to calculate the future trend, and then even semi averages and even moving averages method. See, all these three methods we have some drawbacks, demerits. One or the other demerit we have, isn't it? But wherein least squares method, it is perfectly the exact fit of it is exactly fit for the time series data which can be evaluated the future term. Clear? So this is the mathematical method of measuring trend of the type y equals to f of x. Here a mathematical equation will be fitted to the given time series data. Okay, so as we observed from the previous methods, some of the drawbacks were they are not mathematical models we are saying, and then future value cannot be estimated, such kind of things, and all the observations have to be followed. I mean, one observation also should not be missed and should not be left blank, isn't it? But this method is exactly apt for finding all these drawbacks which were found in the previous methods. Clear? So least squares method is the ultimate method of measuring the trend in the form of mathematical equations. Remember. So the equations may be a linear equation, nothing but a fitting of straight line equation, and then quadratic equation. The another name of quadratic equation is a parabolic trend, and then the third one is exponential equation, nothing but a logarithmic trend. So these are the three equations which are observed. See, this least squares method, how to evaluate? First and foremost, we need to generate the normal equations. What do you mean by normal equations? The process of minimization of sum of squared errors result in some equations. Nothing but the process of minimization of sum of squared errors. See, generally y equals to a plus bx. This is the straight line equation everyone knows. Linear equation y equals to a plus bx, right? So now this one, how to write the normal equations, tell me? The sum of squared errors. So first of all, wherever the variable, there the sum has to be taken, summation, right? And then it reaches to the sum of squared errors, right? So that is nothing but estimating the constants by converting into the squares. Just see, I should not say this word by converting into the squares. The normal equation, how it has to be converted? The sum of squared errors result in some equations. So whenever you are doing the squares, if you find any such kind of errors, those will be evaluated and computed in terms of equations. Those equations is called as a normal equations. See, these normal equations generally is used for finding the coefficients of the relations, which is fitted by the method of least squares. So what is the exact meaning of least squares actually? Tell me, guys. Least squares is nothing but the sum of square deviations from its actual value. The sum of square deviations. For example, actual value and the squared value, right? The deviation between these two, if it gets the least term, then the method we call it as a least squares. So even errors also, how we found there, like in terms of normal equations, how we converted y equals to a plus bx means a and b we don't know because they are the constant values. Y is the actual value and x becomes the time point. Clear? Now if you convert these in terms of squares, if you find any errors between the actual and the squared errors, So to minimize that, we convert it in terms of equations. Those equations are called as normal equations. And then after calculating the constants, we fit the line which is exactly suitable for finding the trend values. Clear? Based on those trend values, we can estimate the future value also. Clear? So this is the concept of least squares. Now here the trend line which is fitted can be called as a best fitted line, right? So to fit this best line, we have to follow some conditions. What are those conditions now? Just see. Look at the conditions now. Condition number 1, as you know that in the first year we have learned arithmetic mean properties. The sum of deviations from its mean is always 0. The sum of square deviations from its mean from the assumed mean is always least. Clear? So the same way here, instead of mean and all, we took it as actual values and trend values, that way. The sum of deviations of the actual values of y and the computed values of y. Actual values and computed values, if you find the sum is 0, that is the first condition which need to be satisfied. Second condition, the sum of square deviations of the actual values of y and the computed values of y is always least. We say it as a least squares method. So these are the two conditions which are to be satisfied to fit a best line. That is, first condition number 1, the sum of deviations from its actual values and the computed values is always 0, and the sum of square deviations from actual values to the computed values is always least. Okay, so the deviation between actual and the square values, if you get least, right, then that becomes called as a least squares method. See, when you are doing the squares, the sum of squares deviations of actual as well as the computed values. Actual values means given values and computed means trend values what you calculated from the best fitted line. Okay, these two deviation, the square deviation, if it gets least, then that becomes least squares method. Clear? So this is what we are going to observe in least squares method. Now have a look the first method, fitting of straight line, method number 1. So what are the merits and demerits of least squares method? Let us see. This method is mathematical and so it is highly efficient. As we always keep on saying, mathematical models only can give you the justification of finding and estimating the future term. Right? Next, it can be used for forecasting the future trend, obviously. It can be used for further statistical analysis, and trend values can be obtained for all the time points. Yes, these are all the merits. At the same time, demerits also will be there when you are applying a mathematical model, and definitely it is not that easy to calculate. So the procedure of calculation is bit difficult. The general form of the relation has to be determined by judgment. The relation, the fresh observations are available, the whole procedure has to be repeated. So we cannot continue further, because if fresh observations are available, definitely the whole procedure should be repeated. Actually speaking, these are all common normal disadvantages. Difficult calculation means we can calculate and we can estimate the future. That is what ultimately we need in time series. But the procedure is little time taking and difficult one. And the general form of the relation has to be determined by pure judgment. Like time points, how the future value you are estimating and judging yourself to get the future term. So that is also one more kind of little demerit, not much one. And when fresh observations are available, again this whole process of calculating the trend values has to be repeated. Clear? If one value changes also, again it has to be repeated. Remember. So let us see the first method, fitting of straight line. So straight line trend. So the straight line equation, y equals to a plus bx, where y is the actual value, x be the time, and then a and b are the constants. Now by using the normal equations, I know how to write the normal equations, right? You know that. Summation y equals to na plus b summation x. I said you first, y equals to a plus bx. Wherever the variable, there you put sum. Y is variable and x is variable, there you put sum. And a, we do not have any variable, so the sum of a becomes na. Remember. And then x has to be multiplied on both the sides. Then it becomes summation xy equals to a summation x plus b summation x square. See, always up to the square deviation we have to calculate. By following those two conditions only, we will be getting the best fitted line. Remember. So when n is the number of years for which data are given, then as you know that the sum of deviations is always 0 summation x. If summation x is 0, then how this summation x equals to 0, you will come to know, because the sum of deviations from actual value to the computed value will always be 0, right? In the x time points also we will be getting that 0. I will be showing that in the problem. Now from these two above equations, normal equations, we get a value and then b value, right? So after calculating the coefficients a and b, the constants, we can substitute that in the straight line equation y equals to a plus bx, then that becomes the best fitted line. By substituting the x values, you will be getting all the trend values, remember, along with a and b. So let us see one problem now. Production in 1000 quintals of sugar are given below. Fit a straight line trend by least squares method and find trend values, and also estimate the production for 2011. So years are given 2002 to 2008, and production in terms of quintals 12, 10, 14, 11, 13, 15, 16. Now time points, mainly how it has to be calculated is, which is the first year? 2002. And what is the middlemost year? 2005. The sum of deviations from actual value of x and the middlemost value, what is it? 2002 minus 2005. How much it will be? Minus 3. So we need to calculate the sum of deviations from actual original year to the middlemost year. So 2002 minus 2005, minus 3, 3 minus 5, minus 2, 4 minus 5, minus 1, 5 minus 5, 0, 6 minus 5, 1, 7 minus 5, 2, 8 minus 5, 3. So the summation x time points will always become 0. Here one logical thing I'll tell you. When the observations are odd in number, definitely you will be getting the middlemost term, right? So straight away you can take the middlemost term is 0, and then the above all values minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and the below all 1, 2, 3. When in case of odd number of years are given, but when in case of even number of years are given, middlemost value cannot be identified. There you need to write 1, 3, 5 in the down part from the middlemost, and minus 1, minus 3, minus 5 above part from the middlemost, because 0 will not be there. The middlemost two should be taken plus 1 and minus 1, and then the deviation minus 3, minus 5, minus 7, minus 9, odd deviation, and then down 1, 3, 5 like that. And then as per the normal equations, calculate x square and then xy. All these totals will be substituted in the given normal equations. You will be getting a and b values. Substitute that a and b value here. A and b value and x. Now if you want to calculate the trend values, all these time points of x should be substituted in this best fitted line. Now y equals to a plus bx, 13 plus 0.75 into x is the best fitted line. In this, in place of x, you need to substitute all the time points, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. You will be getting the trend values. After getting these trend values, from the actual value 12 to the trend value 10.75, the sum of square deviations from its actual to the trend is always least. Then this method becomes the least squares method. Are you clear, guys? So this is the straight line. So few more problems we shall see in the next video. Thank you.